friends and colleagues. You know, it is often that a lot of our friends contact me and ask me what they need to do to become conference interpreters, or they call me and ask me what they need to do to improve themselves as conference interpreters. I got to think about that, and there's one very interesting thing going on in the United States. I get invited to many interpreter and translator conference all year long, but the most interesting thing is that the first thing that the conference organizers ask you, whether it is a small or a big professional association, is if you will be able to get, based on your topic, continuing education credits, either for medical interpreting or healthcare interpreting or court interpreting, and sometimes even for both of them at the same time. Whenever I propose a topic about conference interpreting, many times they tell me, well, that's good, but we really cannot do that because we need to get continuing education credits for our members. I wonder why this is the case all the time. I do understand that court interpreters and healthcare interpreters do need continuing education credits in order to keep their certifications or licenses alive. And I think that's a great thing and so very much important. On the other hand, I think that there can be some other topics discussed at these different conferences. I think that people should go to 2 conferences a year instead of only 1 in order to get the credits that they need out of the way, but also to be able to study different issues that will enhance their capacity as interpreters and maybe get them a better idea of what conference interpreting is, and that way they can really decide if that is for them or not. So I don't understand why these US conferences always shy away from any issues that will not bring back continuing education. I think that's a problem because if you look at conferences in other countries, you can see that by attending a conference, you can really get a lot of new knowledge, can be exposed to very different and diverse topics, like if you go to a South American or a European conference of a professional association. And that's because they are not so obsessed with the continuing education credits as Americans are. And that is because in average people attend more than 1 conference a year because people like to study, people like to improve their skill. The people that only go to a conference because they are forced to in order to keep their certification or license alive are not really the kind of people that should be the focus of the professional associations. I think that in the future, especially in an everyday more competitive world stage, American professional court interpreters, American professional healthcare interpreters, and American professional interpreters in general will have to cover more topics of study and practice besides the minimum continuing education and ethics requirements that they have to have in order to keep their certifications alive. Otherwise, they will not be able to compete with interpreters that are so well prepared abroad. For that reason, I really encourage all of our colleagues that the next time that they wonder what they need to do to become a conference interpreter or an electronic media interpreting professional or any other field, the first thing they do is address this with their professional associations and demand that these type of topics be included in their annual conferences, even though they may not carry, and for sure they will not carry, continuing education credits, because this is something they are interested in doing because they want to improve their skill as interpreters. I think that's basic, that's extremely important because after all, we go to conferences so we can get the tools that we need to be better interpreters. And we will never find them if we are so obsessed with continuing education credits for court and healthcare interpreting. At least that is my opinion. Thank you.